ants are. But whatever, man. They were all over my room, and I need to get rid of them. And the thing that I use is pretty cool. And I started the show already, so that's how I'm opening the show with. So I accidentally made some grilled cheese. Well, I didn't accidentally make grilled cheese. I wanted to make it, but then I left it out without cleaning the Foreman grill, and ants got all over the place. I bought some ant killer on Amazon. They were gone in like the next day. So I hope they killed the queen, and there was a massive tragedy. So welcome everybody to the 29th episode of Sports Goofs. I'm Francisco, and I'm joined by Charles right now. Andrew is probably going to join us at some point via telephone at some point. And I don't know why my Switch is still on, or my Wii U is still on. I should probably turn that off. So we actually bought a capture card, so I think next week we'll be able to have some actual gaming, because we'll have to satiate ourselves with just off-season news for the other sports except baseball. Unless something huge happens in baseball. I don't know. The Yankees keep winning, right, Charles, despite you guys dropping like flies.
I mean, listen, big stuff has happened in baseball. We got Edwin and Carson, but, that's Yankee fans and people who hate Yankee fans and Yankees alike. But right now, we're getting closer to the All-Star deadline, so it's just going to kind of be the fun times. So that's baseball life right there.
Isn't this the last season where I think next year they change the rules, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like all of the waiver trade deadline and the regular trade deadline are
linked up.
Yeah, I think they're all on the same day. I think July 31st or whatever. And the NBA also starting July 1st, because they open up their free agency, right, on July 1st?
Yes,
so
they're going to do it a couple days earlier.
I think it's been July 1st for quite a while. I think. I'm not sure. But, the NHL, I know it's always July 1st. And, I know the NBA used to start right at midnight. But now I think they're going to start, in the middle of the afternoon or something. So now, the NHL, gosh, man, and I covered Free Agency Day in 2015 at the BB&T Center when the Panthers went ham and got all those great veterans that actually pushed us over the top for the 2016 season the following year. Yeah, I was there for 2014-15. Obviously, when we got Derek McKenzie and Willie Mitchell, UC Jokinen, those type of guys that contributed a ton to our 2016 team, and then we blew it all up the following season. That was great. BU, welcome. The West Coast edition. Yeah, let's see. It'd be 5:00 back in California, where apparently the Lakers are the favorite to win the NBA Finals next year.
We just want more fans. We're going to sell out real quickly. We're going to convert either Francisco, myself, or Andrew to just follow. But we're just going to follow Cesar. So we're just appealing to the masses. I don't know if they're the real favorites because they still have a lot of problems, but we're not there.
They have no depth whatsoever at this point. No, they have no depth. So, we'll get to that at that point. We'll get to that. The Raptors and the Blues had their championship parades. Erik Karlsson signed a massive extension with the Sharks, so at least the Montreal Canadiens didn't get him. That's another bit of news. But now that we're here, Charles, I guess we can, sports-wise, we're in a bit of a downturn. We got baseball and just the off-season for the other sports. The NHL awards are going to happen. The NBA awards are going to happen. And the drafts are back-to-back, actually. The NBA goes first, I think, and then the NHL has the following next 2 days afterwards. So Panthers have the 13th pick, which, whatever, we'll get somebody. And the Heat have a 13th pick, which, whatever, they'll get somebody.
You mean we're going to trade him for somebody?
You really think they're going to trade him? You really think the Heat are going to do a sign and trade with the Sixers and get Jimmy Butler?
Not anytime.
What?
Not for Jimmy Butler, because God knows all the smack talk that I said for years would just go wrong.
I got some salami next to me.
Usually they'll just get rid of it. and they'll just try to trade out. Because remember, you trade away some of those picks, you're not having to sign any of those rookies for any kind of salary cap reserves. So
But
they've been salary out for a bit.
I don't know why the Heat wouldn't want to. Like the Raptors. The Raptors had a reasonably competitive team for the last 5 seasons, I would say. And then when the opportunity presented itself, they pounced and got Kawhi, and look what happened.
That's the perfect storm, though.
It is a perfect storm, but at the very least,
they do a whole lot. It's not even just getting the right guy. They fired their coach, who was coach of the year.
Right.
They changed up their whole kind of scheme, going from this ISO ball.
Right. They got rid of their beloved. What's up, Mikey? I'm glad you're watching on your phone. I'm assuming. Let's see. What kind of phone would Mikey have? A Samsung Galaxy Note. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe.
It's a good phone from Walmart. We don't know. Who am I to judge? I love all our fans, respectively.
But I would love the Heat to just field a competitive team for now, and then once they're not gonna pounce. Right now is not the time to pounce. Just field a team, build it up in 2021 or whatever. You might be able to pounce. iPhone 6s Plus. Okay.
So sooner,
yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Oh, it's Andrew. This is once again Andrew has popped through. Welcome, dude.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, we're on the show. We're over here. We're talking about some basketball. The NBA Finals have concluded. The Raptors won. All is right in the world. What?
I'll hang up then.
Differently.
But they're Canadian, Andrew. That's as close as to hockey talk you're gonna get right now.
All right, I'll allow it.
But the celebration was nice. I don't know if you guys saw Kawhi laughing.
Yeah, I did.
The one of laughter of what you say before you kill your enemies, kind of like from The Predator. Remember when he's laughing?
I mean, he's. What would you describe as? You said that he's what did you call him? An alien?
Myself or Andrew?
You, Charles.
So how I described Kawhi Leonard's laughing, which is kind of like a villain laughing, that he's an anime villain about to kill off a secondary character.
An anime villain, okay, very specific.
I've been watching a lot of Yu Hoku show.
Okay, alrighty, all right, I'll allow it. I just watched Little Witch Academia on Netflix. That's very weeb-like of me, but yeah. I hadn't watched an anime in forever. Actually, no. Mob Psycho is currently going on. I haven't watched all of that, and I haven't watched all of One Punch Man season 2 yet. So
I'm so finished one.
Yeah, season 2 hasn't really captivated me so far, but whatever. I'm not that harsh of a critic.
I was on that My Hero Academia kick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But gosh, we were talking.
I wanted to mention something really quick.
Yeah.
Charles, can you hear me now?
Charles, can you hear him?
No, I can't hear him.
He cannot hear you, dude. I do not know why. You're on the same phone call as us, right?
Can you hear me now?
He can't hear you, can you? Charles? I don't think he can hear you. I'm not even sure.
Well, I mean, you can hear me.
I might have to translate for you. I might have to be the messenger in between.
All right.
It's really like a romance.
No, that would be weird. Andrew, here, let me see if I can. Is there something I can do to kind of bring you in?
I mean,
here?
don't sweat it. I can't stay on long, but
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, do you have any observations for the Raptors or just the celebration in general or whatever? I don't know, or even the Blues celebration.
Well, I did talk a lot
Myself
about
or
the Blues celebration.
Because we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So basically, I know that you, Charles, had brought up in our chats that the Raptors win has an asterisk to it.
All right. So.
And my take on it is I've seen other people take it as well. Oh boy. I don't think there's an asterisk here.
No asterisk for the Raptors. Okay.
And my point, my take on it is, it goes to depth. I mean, everyone knows. I mean, look at. I mean, it's a different animal, but look at the Boston Bruins. Zdeno Chara was out with an injury. Well, not really. He got severely injured.
He stayed, but he stayed, obviously. But
right, lots of guys get really injured. But in the past, you see tons of teams get severely injured in the playoffs, and they still win. It was just extremely bad luck that the Warriors got so banged up. But I think, I don't want to say that they didn't have the depth, but basically my point is that, how do I phrase it? They won.
yeah, I get you.
I mean, I know that's kind of not a great explanation, but that's my ultimate point is they won. It's if they went all Nancy Kerrigan and broke the Kevin Durant's kneecap or took out his Achilles and Clayton's ACL, that would be another story, and that would be totally illegal.
And that would have made that thing even more interesting. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. And so I think that their prior injuries contributed to their more serious injuries.
Yeah. I mean, the whole, KD especially.
The leg bone is connected to the hip bone, sort of thing.
Right.
Durant's what was it? His hamstring or his calf?
His Achilles, actually.
Well, no, before that.
Oh,
he was out for a few games.
Yeah, well, yeah, against the Rockets. Yeah, he injured it in Game 6 against the Rockets. Went out and then tried to come back for that Game 5, and
Right. Well,
yeah.
Charles is saying it was his calf, and I can buy that. But with Klay Thompson, he was out with something completely unrelated to his knee.
No, yeah. Well, that was just a torn ACL, which could have happened at any point.
But if he weakened at some area, that'll apply more pressure to another area to compensate.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that him coming back may have actually hurt him more. That's my take on it.
No,
but I guess
I agree with you, to be honest. I agree with, both of the Raptors and the Warriors went in to this finals. Look, the Warriors came in with two of their three best players still there. Mm-hmm. Who, before then, in 2015, along with Draymond Green, they won a championship against LeBron. All right? Then they failed in 2016 due to, I would say, Draymond Green's fault the most part. And then they got KD and just trounced the Cavs the following 2 seasons. But then they walk into this one. Yeah, they were beat up. Yeah, they've played more than 100 games in the playoffs at that point over the last 4 seasons.
That was an interesting point that Steve Kerr brought up.
Right.
Which was, he thinks, what is it? It was 5 straight years that they've made it all the way to the final.
Yeah.
That is, I did the 82 season.
Right.
Somehow swept every series. That's another games.
Right.
That's 90 games.
Right.
Have not all those series. So they've played 500 plus games over a 5-year span.
It's crazy.
That is going to take massive damage.
Like a giant enemy crab.
Right, because then
I hope Charles got that reference.
Enemy crab.
Yeah, giant enemy crab, baby.
I don't get that one.
Oh
either.
no, it's from the reveal of the PS3 in 2000 and E3. We're gonna talk about E3 later, but
Okay.
at E3 of 2005 or 2006, yeah, 2006.
Yeah,
Like it was disastrous, and they were showing off a game, like a Japanese fight, like samurai type of game. They're like, oh, these are actually recreating historic battles from historic Japan, and then they suddenly right there pops up, and here's a giant enemy crab. And you have to hit its weak point for massive damage. Like it became a meme, and it was funny because he just said that this was historical battles that happened in real life, and I'm like, well, because they're fighting giant enemy crabs in Japan. So sorry,
I'll have to look it up.
yeah, no, you have to. It's pretty funny, but sorry, go ahead.
So, see, a 500 plus games over 5 years. Not to mention that the finals end generally early to mid June. Let's say early June, and the season starts up in October. So you've got, let's say, 3/4 of June, July, August, September. You have like little under 4 months to get some R&R and get back into tip-top shape.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do one deep run, if you win one finals, that's one thing. But you don't go as deep the next year, you get 5-6 months to rest. But if you're doing 4 months in 5 consecutive years, you're not going to be doing great.
But okay, so Charles, you still label the asterisk after all that?
All right, so I gotta put in things up. Disclaimer: I didn't hear half Andrew's rant until I dropped it back into the call, so forgive me if I'm quoting wrong.
Okay.
My position always kind of stays the same. Asterisks, I know, are non-existent, and the thing is, in this time of the year, especially considering the fact that the team that lost in the finals, the Warriors, people are going to want to die on the idea that asterisks don't happen because everybody and their mother, except for anybody who was a Golden State fan or anybody who predicted Golden State to win, like myself, are going to feel validated by the fact that they lost in the finals, especially since last year was a sweep and then the prior year was domination. So they don't want to hear my talk about asterisks. But you guys got to realize something. So it wasn't just one person that got injured. It wasn't 2 people that got injured. It's a whole bunch of people that get injured. KD with the Achilles, Clay with the knee, Kevon Looney with the collarbone, Andre Iguodala's injured. And here's the thing: basketball is a starting 5, right? 3 of your 5, or I guess 2 of your 5, are injured there. Draymond's kind of infected. There's a little bit on him, but people got to realize Draymond's not going to be the 20-point guy anyway. But
right.
Then your bench is also injured as well. So you're mean to tell me that it took all of Toronto's good luck and health, and great for them, because sometimes the true best team, for the team that is healthy and consistent, it took a healthy lineup to beat Steph Curry in 6 games.
Well, let me clarify my position.
Yeah.
I still think that the Warriors are the best team.
Of course. Yeah, I got that part. For me, it's more of it's just the whole thing, because when we talk, we know I'm Mr. Contrarian, unpopular opinion, but the asterisk thing, I was getting some heat from people outside of this group chat. Not you guys, but others. I'm like, what? Why can't I say this?
Listen, Your Honor. I'm just saying the Raptors didn't,
I have a friend, so I'm not going to put him on blast. But he was like, what?
Mr. Charles, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah, I can say the same. Like one of my friends, I can say the same thing about Golden State that initially won it when the Cavs were injured. Yeah, but also the following year, that's a team that won 72, 73 games without a KD, and they got the KD because KD is a competitor. I'm not going to take away from Toronto that they were the best equipped team in the East. I'm not going to take away the fact that their championship is meaningless. It's meaningful, but I'm also going to say in the annals of history where the only thing. This is never going to echo into the history books. It's only going to be rumors, asterisks, with the 3 guys talking about right now, and everybody else who hears this part of the conversation and really consider being asterisks or not.
I guess, I'm hearing your point. I guess you could say, like, let's compare. Okay, like the Raptors beating the Warriors was surprising from the start of the series, if you would say. Okay, you would have been surprised if they had they had won the series. I
Yeah.
think almost everybody, unless you were a diehard Raptors fan, was surprised that this happened. I think you got the Mavs in 2011 when they beat the Heat. That was an upset, and then I guess the next one after that you would say is the '04 Pistons when they beat the Lakers.
Yeah,
So,
Wouldn't consider Spurs beating the Heat.
well, the Spurs, I don't know. I just they were in that fifth championship at that point. They still had some of their core, and I still would say that the Heat were, at least they weren't like weren't as heavily favored because they had met up the year before that.
right.
So I'm just saying teams that sort of look like they came out of nowhere in a sense, or had that one shining moment of and they took it. That one
One
opportunity.
shining moments for the NCAA men's basketball tournament.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, I destroyed their trademark there. But still, like I would put the Raptors, let's say, even then, probably the third between the Pistons and the Mavs of those years. Like as far as ranking their performance, and because I would say the Pistons were a better overall team just because of how well they played the Lakers in that series, and then the Mavs after that beating the Heat. And then I would say the Raptors here because it probably did take losing Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and a bunch of other guys during the series for them to get to this point. Like
No question.
if Kawhi went down, this Raptors team would have been fried.
Decimated,
Yeah,
destroyed.
just right there. Okay, just
Yeah.
having Steph Curry on one side versus the Raptors without Kawhi. Yeah.
I guess I can summarize my point as I don't think anyone with any sort of knowledge of the thing would say that the injuries to KD and Clay didn't affect the team and definitely made them weaker. That would be ludicrous to say that. But other teams have taken significant beatings, not just in basketball, but in other sports, and they've lost star players, and they still win. That's where your depth comes in. And I know there's significantly smaller depth when it comes to basketball because it's only, I think, a 15-man roster as opposed to 25 plus in other sports.
Right.
So I guess my ultimate point is you live as a team, you die as a team.
Yeah. Okay. All right, boys.
Um,
So,
and
sorry. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
I will jump off now
Okay.
to avoid the wrath of Charles. But more significantly, I still have to get to bar prep.
All right, dude. All right.
And yeah, Charles, I see your text right now. Like I said, I still think the Warriors are the best team. I think they just got very, very unlucky, and the Raptors took advantage. They could have blown it. I mean, like you said, they kept it very close in the last game. They blew the shot to win it in Toronto in Game 5. They definitely could have blown it, but they had the gumption to hold it together long enough that they could win 4 games. So, not taking anything away from the Warriors, but the Raptors do deserve some credit here for taking advantage.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, gentlemen, I will see you next week in person. But for now, I have to listen to some Grossman.
Yeah. All right, dude. Have some fun. The Jets still suck. Just let me know
Yes.
that. Alrighty.
Hey,
Ciao,
good
dude.
night, guys. Good night, everyone.
Alrighty.
All right, so I'm gonna piggyback a few things on that one
Yeah.
that we have before. Um, Here's my position with Toronto winning it. It fits into my season-long mentality of anybody but Philly, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
They come for them from the Western Conference Final, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. No, you have to look. I guess and kind of shift gears, still in the NBA, to go onto a bigger horizon. What this really means for Golden State, and essentially what it means that just tank next year, man. Your two-star guys are injured. You resign both of them if you can. Play for that little pick to build on that depth issue, and there you go. I floated this idea with my paralegal earlier today. He's like, does a winning team with that kind of culture do it? I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
because with just Steph alone, and maybe you resign DeMarcus Cousins. I don't know if you do it with Boogie because he's going to want that money, right? And he played well enough in the season to
Well,
justify that money.
I think I don't even think he's eligible for that much of a big payday after he took so much less this season.
But all he did was took a veterans cut, so
Yeah,
he
but I
still
think I think he's probably just gonna get the veterans minimum from somebody next year. I mean, he's first off he got injured again.
yes.
Like at this point, it's just a history of this. I mean, you're gonna experience it once Giancarlo Stanton gets injured again this season with the Yankees. You know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, dude. So I don't know if DeMarcus Cousins would even merit getting a big payday. He might just be, he might, honestly, he might just be better off staying with Golden State and having another shot at a ring, unless he wants to
And this time he would have
hook up with LeBron in LA. That could be a thing too.
we got words on.
Remember how he did well? You know, he got along with Anthony Davis, so that could be a thing.
I mean, he would, but he also hurt his Achilles too. Then, so we just it's speculation. But
Yeah.
when you're Will Meyer, I think that's the name of their GM, and then you're just the Golden State organization itself. When you ask yourself, how should we present this? No one is going to kind of hate you because listen, in the NBA you get rewarded for tanking because everything is what Francisco when it comes to the NBA draft rigged. So when it's rigged, have a crappy season. You're in a new stadium over in San Fran. Tank it out, get your next guy. Hell, if you can't get KD because of money constrictions, because do you want to pay for a guy who's going to be gone for a year anyway? And the logical answer is no, unless you're desperate. You might be able to get that new, small forward, power forward that is just very, very sleek with his shot.
I don't know if I mean, you got. Yeah, I know you're throwing. I don't know if the Warriors are just gonna straight up just blow it up. There's no reason to be honest. And
exactly, but you've got two guys that aren't going to be able to perform. Really, I mean, KD's out for a year.
Well, it might be a blessing in disguise. I mean, you might even say like with LeBron. They didn't make the playoffs this season, but he might be the most rested he's been in 9 years. So it might be a blessing in disguise for him. So the Warriors, let's say, there was a scenario Ira Winderman of the Sun Sentinel posted. I don't know if you remember the 99, I think it was 99, the year that the Knicks went to the finals, the lockout shortened season in 99. They were the 8th seed, and that was only because they had so many injuries during the season that by the time they were good enough to make the playoffs, but by the time they made the playoffs, they were healthy, and they faced the Heat, who were the number 1 seed, but we're facing the Knicks. They're longtime rival at that point, and the Knicks were not an 8th. They didn't have the talent of an 8th seed. They had the talent of like a 2nd or 3rd seed, and they beat the Heat. Another close series, but they beat them, and then he posited the same scenario where the Warriors could honestly they might be able to coast in the Western Conference, hovering around the 8th seed with just Steph and Draymond. Okay.
Cousins if he's in.
Yeah, they can float and they can hang with a team like who's the 8th seed in the West this year? Like,
well, let's check that. I think it was not San Antonio, but I'll check real quick. It wasn't an inspiring group of people. Like, I think they would be better than San Antonio, with that lineup that they have, unless they get Kemba Walker, which San Antonio, hear me out. RC Buford, sign Kemba.
Yeah.
I know you love some young guys. Kemba is meant for your system. He played for Bareggio over in Charlotte, and Charlotte is trash. You go sign Kemba, and you do him right. The 8th seed was the Clippers, but we don't know because that's going to be a Kawhi-led Clippers.
That would if Kawhi goes to the Clippers, then that completely changes their dynamic. But I would say the Warriors could hang there with, like, say, OKC, San Antonio. They'll be above the Sacramento Kings. I don't know if the Portland Trailblazers would do the same thing that they did this season.
They have to blow up
Yeah.
because they got the contracts between Dame's going to be redoing.
Yeah.
You have what's his face, McCollum, and then you have Nurkic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Paydays are coming for those guys.
And the thing is, there's not a lot of money in that ownership. They don't want to pay people. That's why you have Alfred Marino and Maurice Harkless as your other two starting forwards.
But going back to the point, I would say I could picture a scenario where the Warriors hang for, let's say, going into February, probably a little post All-Star break, and then they get their bodies back and sneak in as the 8th seed. Suddenly they're healthy, and you have an opening round which might emulate that same thing that the Knicks did years ago. So that's just a scenario that could happen, but all this is all speculation. Speaking of speculation, it's all speculation. It's what, you know what? Speaking of speculation, E3 happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you were most excited for, to be honest.
I mean, Pokemon Sword and Shield, because I'm a child. Even though
they kind of killed it for me when they said that not all the Pokemon would be in it.
DLC. That's what they're gonna do to you.
Okay. I wouldn't mind DLC. Like, okay, so you start out with whatever that new region is called.
Gaelic or Gala region.
Yeah, something like that. You start out with the new new region, and then I wouldn't mind like Wooloo Simulator 2019. That's a good. Yeah, it's basic. Wooloo is the MVP of the of E3 2019. I would say, him or Banjo Kazooie. So maybe, but they kind of killed it for me a little bit. But I could get behind, like, okay, let's say you complete the main storyline. All right. Complete the main storyline, and you're training up your Pokemon, and you're catching new ones, all that stuff. And then I could see like maybe 6 months down the line afterwards. I think most people would be done with the story mode that quickly. Yeah, for like a fee, I wouldn't even mind like a $10 expansion, which opens up another region where all these other Pokemon are at. You take like a boat or a plane to this other region, and there's a new storyline right there. I wouldn't mind that. Or maybe recreating like the Kanto region. You could go there and play that. I wouldn't mind that either.
So what's the thing that got you all excited?
Well, I like Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
I like the way it looks. I like the concept. I like that they showed a lot of it, which tells me that they'll probably release it by Halloween, which would probably be the best scenario for that. That's true. Nintendo's E3 was a nostalgia trip. Animal Crossing got pushed back, but I don't play Animal Crossing, so it's not my cup of tea. I like Microsoft's. I'm most looking forward to Microsoft Flight Simulator, to be honest. That one caught me off guard, and but just the look of it. I don't know if anybody's found. Have you ever heard of a YouTuber called Air Force Proud 95?
No.
Oh boy, you got to listen to this guy. Actually, I should look for him right now. So he plays. Let's see if I can search for him here on the. Come on. Search for him here on the screen. Air Force Proud 95. He plays Microsoft Flight Simulator, but on the Steam edition. And he records his play sessions. And I think he's an actual pilot, like in real life. Or at least an pilot, or maybe even a training air traffic controller. He's got some videos here of him actually flying and stuff like that. But he plays Flight Simulator because I think they actually these real pilots use this as practice. And the new one's coming out for, I think, Xbox and PC. And so I wouldn't mind getting getting a higher end PC later on down the line, saving up for that just to play Flight Simulator because it looks freaking awesome. So it's a flight game made by Bethesda, you would think, right? And they had a kind of crappy presentation at E3, except for Doom. I like Doom. That kind of that kind of that kind of piqued my interest. I've
It wasn't bad. It's just Doom. You're not reinventing the wheel.
no, but there's no need to be honest. If it's
Sometimes. If you're doing games that are like 16 hours ad nauseum of just killing demons, I need something a little bit more in substance.
yeah, okay, but I kind of like those old type of well, isn't Quake still around? I think it's like a free to play game now. Yeah,
But it's kind of like the bastardized version of Quake.
yeah. But this guy Air Force Proud 95, you gotta watch him. He sometimes he tries to insert realism into his gameplay, so you'll have people who are just dicking around on online with the air traffic controlling or actual pilots, and they're just messing around. They don't know any of the actual jargon and whatnot. What's up, Dudo122? We're talking about Microsoft Flight Simulator and this guy called Air Force Proud 95 that you got to follow on YouTube. I already subscribed to his channel. It's freaking hilarious. The interaction he has with other people who are playing this online. And so I'm hoping he gets the new version that's coming out in I think next year, right? Next year or something like that. For the X. Oh, he's probably going to get it on PC. For the PC. And I'm hoping to get it on the PC as well. If it can run on something. If not, I'll save up for a PC because I would save up just to play this, just to play the new one on Xbox. Charles, I was kind of disappointed we didn't see Xbox on Nintendo Switch.
It's coming, but not yet.
Not yet.
They're gonna just shift into like the Sega Genesis mindset, or the Sega, in general, how they did after the Dreamcast died.
Yeah.
Just go with properties and have other people do it. A lot of people thought it was gonna be Nintendo for quite some time, but it had a little resurgence and renaissance for the Switch. But they want to do cross-play, cloud play with Sony. I think it's only a matter of time before Nintendo goes for it. I think they're gonna try to eventually view themselves to be like,
a service.
A service, but also like a product equipment. So like your AMDs, your other graphics card, Radeon, stuff like that, processors, Intel's, blah blah, anything. Like they just want to make that better quality stuff. They want you to buy it. I think they're shift away. Maybe they'll just go some software, maybe, but you're doing it for all brands because hey, look at Activision, look at EA itself. I know EA is a devil. I get it. Still buy their games. But they make a tons of cash going all through platforms. So if Microsoft is looking to make their stuff in development with their just gaming software, maybe their specs to provide to console makers like Sony, such as Nintendo, and maybe they just have dedicated servers for the multiplayer games. I don't know, man, because you kind of knew they were I feel, throwing in the towel slightly when they were going for the console war, because I know they're going to give you the upgraded Xbox One, so we'll call it the Xbox 2 for all intents and purposes, but then they're doing stuff like the Master Chief Collection for the PC, so it's like, what are you going to do? Are you just going to give me Halo Infinite on all my consoles and PC and make me happy?
Yeah. Well, they said that it's coming out, for PC and the Xbox, so I like the fact that they're just expanding their brand, so guys like me who are single console people actually have a shot of playing their stuff. They obviously, like, just the fact that Banjo's in Smash, I think they realize that their IP is more valuable. Like, their brand is more valuable than the console itself at this point.
Yeah.
They're going to go beyond their brand. Like Sony's going to be hardwired to their PlayStation for a while, especially because that's probably one of their best divisions in the entire company.
Yeah, they don't lose money on that. They lose money on the movies.
Yeah. And Nintendo, well, Nintendo's going to keep doing their thing, but Nintendo's kind of separated in some sort of way. So I'm glad Microsoft's going this route. I have Xbox, I have an Xbox account on my PC, and I've used it already. I've played some games from the Microsoft Store on my PC, and they run well, and they're connected to Xbox. I have a gamer tag. I get the the achievements and all that stuff. So I'm already kind of there. They're already kind of there. So I'm already on board with, if they put it on the Switch, I'm on board completely. If they have Xbox Game Pass, I might even subscribe to that, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a ton of games that I know I haven't played, and I've always wanted to give it a shot, but I just don't have the money to support 2 consoles. But
it makes me feel like I'm a rich man.
yeah.
Look, I mean, my PS4 is for I don't want to say it's hardcore, but my more, intense video gaming. And then, my Switch is basically for everything I want and I like the platform. There's that little bit of nostalgia. And the novelty game, because, I'm never going to get a Mario Kart on my PS4.
Yeah.
So if I want to just make my nephew cry, you best believe that Smackdown is coming through the Nintendo.
Yeah. So BU mentioned Google Stadia. I can't even get on board with that, to be honest. I'd have to see more. I'm sure there's some people who are going to use it, but I can't really see cloud gaming right now. Like, even there's a couple. I think there's a Resident Evil game on the Switch that's just a cloud game, which is ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't even want to give that even a second thought. The Witcher 3 is going to be a physical hard copy, so if they could do that, then why would I even? Like, I don't mind downloading a game. I've downloaded tons of games. Smash is downloaded on my Switch because I know if I had it in cartridge form, I probably wouldn't want to take it out. Like, I like having it on my console at all times, but at least it's downloaded. It's it's the data. I don't have to keep a connection going for the internet just to have it run. I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind cloud gaming. At that point, I'd just save up for a PC that could run a modern game. I don't need the highest of specs. I'm not that big of a graphics whore, but I don't know. Yeah, for players. I mean, that's one point. BU. There's a lot of places in North America that can't even maintain a broadband connection. There's still some places with dial-up. There's still places that you can't even get a phone signal out there. Well, now they have the 8K TVs out, Charles. I see your point there on the screen. I don't even know if you can even see 8K, to be honest. I'm not even sure that's, like, at some point our eyes can't improve it, or whatever's on the screen cannot be improved by looking at it. So, and I'm hoping the new batch of consoles, even though I'll probably just have the Switch, but give us that promised, like, 60 frames per second, steady 60 FPS, because there are a bunch of games this generation that couldn't even maintain a 60 FPS frame rate. That's what matters to me, to be honest. I love 60 FPS plus gameplay. 30 is fine, but, all that power I would want to be pushed towards that type of stuff. They can't even do split screen multiplayer anymore. So that's, except on Nintendo consoles for some reason. Jumbo large screens like in arenas of public. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, if you were playing at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, that's fine. But I have a 4K TV. Don't know much of the difference so far because I mean, there's some things I see on Netflix that are 4K and there is a difference there, but 1080p is fine enough for me.
Listen, I used to have that same opinion, and then I went to my buddy Houdini's house, and we played Detroit Become Human.
On PS4 Pro?
4K OLED, and I realized the one time in my life, maybe the second time in my life, from now until the day I die, I had a wrong opinion.
Oh, well then. I guess I would have to see it to believe it, and my gaming consoles right now, my Switch will definitely not be able to do that, and my PC would probably explode if I ever even tried to set out a resolution of 4K. So, maybe when I get there's a PC on Amazon that I've been seeing that's like $800. It's VR ready, and that's really what I'm looking forward to the most is VR. but that's way off in the future when they actually perfect that type of stuff. All right, Charles. Did anything happen in wrestling? BT Dubs?
There's always stuff in wrestling, as you know. So I guess we'll go into a small segment of the cage.
Yeah. Holy crap.
As I don't even get a backdrop. Yay.
Yeah. Let me get it back up there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, as Francisco's being our responsible, proud leader, I will always start this segment as I tell everybody, welcome to the cage with Charles. Wrestling is not fake, it's scripted. Wrestling is a dance. It's a ballet with soap opera tendencies in there. And right now, this is kind of the bad days of wrestling, for one end. As you know, I'm a provider of three kind of brands: WWE, which encompasses Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, which I love. It has Ring of Honor, ROH, what you hear me call, which is right now kind of slightly in a rut. AEW is typically the
new kid on the block.
The new kid on the block, the wannabe WCW, and then one that I always kind of forget about, but one that I'll talk about for now: New Japan Professional Wrestling. New Japan's always, and that's what we'll go on second here, because New Japan's always kind of like hard to kind of explain to people, because yes, it is, as you can tell, Japan style wrestling or Japanese style wrestling. A lot of it's strong style, which is a lot of hard, stiff hittings. As I tell people, it has some of the best matches I've seen, but the problem is sometimes there's bad story elements that come into it, and sometimes it's good. WWE is the soap opera. New Japan really styles itself as being great exhibition matches with some storylines coming in. But the reason why they're the highlight, I guess, this week for me is because they just announced their blocks for the G1 Climax. And no, it's not that kind of climax, you guys. You're wrong and dirty. But it's just basically their way of whether they break off the town between two blocks, Block A, Block B.
I don't know if you saw the comment there on Discord, Charles. But Mikey,
Mikey, it happened. It happened, and I loved it. We'll talk about that. Don't worry.
Yeah, I remember. Well, dear Lord, man, they're just watching two old geezers fight. Dear man.
Well, that's the problem right now. Is I guess we can kind of say this with an umbrella between New Japan, Ring of Honor, AEW, and WWE. Is Vince McMahon is on that nostalgia trip because he doesn't have faith in his new guys, and he thinks that the old geezers are going to sell. And you know what? He's kind of right, because it might not have sold for people here, but it sold overseas, Saudi Arabia, and those billion-dollar monies come in there.
I don't know if you see the screen here, but somebody's got a GIF here, highlights from the Undertaker Goldberg fight.
I see it now. Yeah, that's great. So the match, real quickly, was just a botch fest 3000. Goldberg gave himself a concussion, literally knocked himself out during the match. Taker couldn't maintain the weight. He botched a tombstone. Goldberg botched a jackhammer, nearly broke the guy's neck. It was just bad. So look into that if you want the gifts. New Japan announced the G1 Climax. They work in conjunction with some of the new old school style guys, and then the new generation. Then the old guys are still there. But one of the bigger names is John Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose, who is one of the few wrestlers that Andrew knows about, has been announced for the G1 Climax. He actually won the United States Championship for IGWP for New Japan last week against Juice Robinson, and now he's entered this Climax tournament. So essentially, whoever wins the tournament, it goes by a point system. It's like round robin. You win a match, it's 2 points. You get a draw, it's a point. You lose, it's 0. So what happens if you win? You get to essentially get a title at Wrestle Kingdom, which is New Japan's version of WrestleMania. So that's kind of what's going on. Exciting is that they announced some of the blocks that's going on. Some of the best, like Tetsuya Naito.
I got an article here, so let me open it up here. They said New Japan Pro Wrestling announced the participants and blocks for this year's G1 29 tournament. Opens on July 6th in Dallas. Where are they playing that?
Yep. It's going to be their first time. Oh, the DDT Pro Wrestling. I've seen a couple of their matches.
Is it in Cowboy Stadium? Or
I think it's in Jerry World.
Okay.
It's their first time going outside of Japan for their Climax. I think they did a couple of stuff with Ring of Honor. Because Ring of Honor and New Japan had a very symbiotic relationship. And then what happened is once the Young Bucks, Cody, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page all says, we're out, we're doing our own thing, there's a lot of talent pool that left. But what happens in the world of wrestling is that stars have to be made at some point. But there's some guys in that whole block that you should be looking into if you're interested in seeing a new style of wrestling, if you like wrestling, what have you. Jeff Cobb's a big name. I'm a big fan of him. He was in Lucha Underground, which you see on Netflix. He played, or I guess we'll call it play because it's like a TV show, which is a story, but it's really weird. It was La Matanza, but he's in it. You have John Moxley, who was the formerly known as Dean Ambrose. You have Tetsuya Naito, who is one of the better ones in my opinion. Had a great match with the other guy who's in it that should always be cared about is Kasuga Okada. I think I said that right. He's basically Japanese John Cena in the eyes of New Japan. And then you have Moxley's going to be going against, I think, Tomohiro Ishii, so he's a big stiff guy. I feel like if I say these names, I'll be able to speak fluent Japanese and go from there. But it's something to keep interested in. It comes in July for anybody who wants to taste because July 6th, because what happens is WWE right now is just a little stale. They're building up. They have a pay-per-view this week in Stomping Grounds. The card's not fully set, but no one's really kind of excited for it. They've had some attendance issues. But the one thing is I tell people is Vince McMahon panics because guess what happens during the time of April to June? NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. I believe that all will be bounced back in the world and a better product will be delivered for the WWE because there's no more stuff that people are going to be watching on Monday nights or Tuesday nights unless you choose to not watch SmackDown Live or Monday Night Raw. Instead, come see your boys at the Sports Goofs because I can use those ratings. They'll sell out like a champion real quick any day of the week.
I don't know if you're looking at the comments here, Charles. Back on Twitch. I mean, if you can walk back here.
Yeah.
About the heavy metalweight championship belt. Mikey says it was the best in the world. It said at some point the belt itself was the belt holder.
It's a sentient being.
Okay.
I'm looking at their Wikipedia. A chef, apparently, the chief chef of Yakayama Springs won the title by pinning Mouse in a party. So it is a 24/7 title, which is ironic because guess what? Who happens to have a 24/7 championship?
WWE just made one that was made in Microsoft Paint. So yeah.
Yeah. Not even Microsoft Paint. What they did was they went to one of those car dealerships. And cut one of the wacky wavable inflatable tune guys, and they just put a little gold spinner on it. Remember, imitation is the highest form of flattery. So they're taken from them.
I gotta look this up because they're showing off this these belt holders, and I gotta look this up because hold on one second. Let me go on to Wikipedia here. Give me that. Open. Interact. So. Okay.
But as we have the background noise of Francisco typing, essentially what I'll tell the people listening is that right now is the stale part for WWE wrestling, but August is coming around, and usually that's the build for
what is this? Notable champions. As of May 2018, there were 1,300 title changes, as Mikey had posted already.
Mm-hmm.
A monkey has won it. A dachshund has won it. A cat has won it.
Scott Hall won it. Look at that.
Is he part of the inanimate objects category here or not?
I mean, when he drinks, he might.
A chicken doll, a bat, a baseball bat, a poster, a pint of beer. This is great. This is fantastic. This is Japan, right? So, of course, Vince McMahon's Hollywood Walk of Fame star held it at one point. A pork bun. Pork buns are good. Okay. All right, a pork belly, the freaking Asian buns. Those are freaking good, man. I love those. They might be my non-sponsor actually. I don't know. They're really good. I don't know if you had them, Charles.
I have not.
Oh, you need to go to a ramen place and order some. I'll tell you that much. I don't know if there's much up there, but find a ramen place and order some. 3 elementary school girls at one point held it. This
BU says a printed email one. Um,
A printed email one.
that goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, anybody can be a champion.
Yeah, even Kawhi Leonard again.
I was just gonna say you'll have Karl Malone come out of retirement just to see what a championship feels like.
Oh God. Well, people were making fun of DeMarcus Cousins. He's like, before the season, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get a free championship, an easy championship, and just so happened to not happen for him, which happened to Karl Malone back in '04 when he
Yep,
joined the
that's why I
Lakers.
brought that up.
Him and Gary Payton.
Is that the biggest betrayal in sports history
Uh,
that you would think of?
what 2004? Karl Malone. I
Yeah,
think
or
he
not.
got.
I won't call it
He,
betrayal, but the biggest insult to the team that you were there for such a long time for.
oh God. Yeah, for the Jazz. Yeah, yeah. I mean, freaking. I think John Stockton retired like the year before that or something like that. I don't
Hmm.
know. It was something like that. And Jerry Sloan was still coaching the Jazz at that point. Yeah, that might have been a big slight. Like it's understandable at that point. Maybe okay, I could let it slide for Karl Malone. He had two shots, but he just so happened to face Michael Jordan and the Bulls, which is unfortunate. Had they faced probably any other Eastern Conference team around that point, they probably would have won at least one.
There's plenty of guys who never even get the opportunity to sniff in the finals.
Well,
So,
yeah, that's true. He had three shots.
yeah.
Uh, well, my criteria for the greatest of great players, they have to. I mean, there's some that just they don't make it at all. So there are some exceptions, but really, they got to at least try and play for one championship. Like at least one. You got to have at least one. You don't have to win it. Just have one shot at it. So you got your Dan Marinos, your Charles Barkleys, um, you got your Joe Thorntons. Yeah, yeah. You got freaking Barry Bonds. Even Barry Bonds, he had one shot.
Yeah.
He got one shot. That's all he could ask for.
So I guess not to veer away from wrestling and all this stuff, but it leads to a great question since we got some free time on this. Out of all the sports available, one guy that you have who right now has not made it to a finals in any of the sports that you think is going to become like the best worst loser in this that's never going to get the finals, and it's a travesty.
So the best worst loser.
Yeah, in the sense of where we never had the opportunity.
Well, right now Mike Trout kind of concerns me.
Mm.
You would think over the course of 13 years from now he'd at least play in a World Series, but there are teams that have had massive droughts, i.e., right now the Marlins, or even the Royals, you would say, from '85 until 2014 when they finally went back to the World Series. So in baseball, there's a very good chance that the Angels will not make a World Series in the next decade. There's a very good chance.
Yeah, I mean he's a good option, but let me give you somebody who is near the end of his career and never even sniffed out a Super Bowl, and that's Philip Rivers.
Oh, yeah, he got his closest shot last year. Really?
Yeah,
That was the
uh,
closest they've been.
I think he got into an AFC championship against the Patriots, and that's when he tore his knee and they lost. But that's
Yeah.
so long ago,
Yeah.
and he's only gotten better with age, and you can't necessarily say that about a lot of old quarterbacks. And I mean, granted, that's the problem. In NFL, you do get a lot of loyalty with the quarterbacks. They'll stay.
Yeah.
Other player, they're traded and whatnot, but he's given them 13, 14 years coming into it. He's going to be staying for at least another 2 years. He's not going to get the Eli Manning effect, and him and Roethlisberger are going to be hand in hand, and he'll stay with the team that drafted them. But he was there for the ups, he was there for the down, the 15 kids that he had
He
there.
went for the
They-
move
the
from
move.
San Diego to LA. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like he's the only one. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I was rooting for them Chargers last year for whatever reason. I was just like, I just wanted. If Peyton Manning got to go out on a swan song of at least getting two, I want Phil to at least get into a finals appearance, if anything, or
Yeah.
a Super Bowl appearance.
Right. Yeah, he's a good one. Yeah, Dan Marino's the best one so far to have not won. To
Yeah.
play and not have not won. I mean,
Of course.
but he at least played for one.
Yeah.
So that
And-
still
and-
meets my criteria.
Yeah, my criteria is that I think that even if you get to a Super Bowl, it's still good because that means you at least won an AFC championship or an NFC championship. I'm critiquing it from football because you get a lot of like lifers
Right.
in that position. who will stay loyal to a bad team.
Who was that
and never
guy
have that.
on the Cleveland Browns? He played for he's basically a Hall of Fame player at his position, but he played for the Browns for his entire career. He recently retired.
There's so many. There's so many
I forgot
Browns
his
who
name.
try and they disappear. But I'll give you a one that's more recent, but one that should just kind of stay in your mind. Arguably the greatest running back of all time, Barry Sanders. And then he woke up one day and he said, "You know what? F Detroit. I'm out."
Yeah, he's done. He is done. Yeah, that's true. Tiki Barber also retired early, but
But that
unfortunately,
was ego.
yeah, that was ego and that was beef. And if you guys have seen SB Nation's current beef history of Tiki Barber versus the New York Giants, you should watch it. It's pretty darn good. All of them are pretty darn good, and of course, I have to shout out my SB Nation mates from back when I used to be with them. But okay, so Charles, I had a trip recently with my dad. Had a good old. That was basically his Father's Day present.
No.
We hit the road for 3 cities.
It's the part live action version of the Goof movie.
Yeah, the Goof. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Except I wasn't going to college. I was trying to get the hell out of college. I was trying to get the hell out of work more than anything. So we hit up 3 cities: Tampa, Atlanta, and DC to go see Tropicana Field, SunTrust Park, or they're going to change the name to Truist Park, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's an ugly name, right?
Yeah.
BB&T and SunTrust are merging, so it's gonna be awful, really. The BB&T Center for the Panthers is gonna change, so it's gonna be called the Truist Center or something like that. Anyways, and then Nationals Park up in DC. And honestly, Charles, out of the 3 stadiums, I enjoyed Atlanta the most.
As we talked about that, I said that you probably were, because when you have a winning culture, you put some money in your damn field.
It wasn't just that. It was the entire atmosphere of, okay, like the Braves have been there since 1966. So there's a ton of history already. They had that whole run from the 90s through mid 2000s of winning their division every season. They had 1 championship, and I still bash on the Braves for only winning 1 out of those 15 or so seasons that they had such a good run at. Well, the Marlins won 2, but SunTrust Park in Atlanta, the Jets trade Jacob Trouba to New York for holy crap.
Yes, tell us, because you and Andrew are resident hockey men.
Yes, well, hockey, right? I mean, just it's low key like the NBA right now. We had Erik Karlsson, just probably the best. He was going to be the best free agent defenseman on the market until now, when he signed an extension with the Sharks for 8 seasons, which is hugely significant. I guess he really enjoyed his time out in San Jose. But I'm just glad he didn't go to the Montreal Canadiens, because there were rumors that he was thinking about Montreal, and I'm so glad that he didn't go there, because then we would have had to hate him if he went to Montreal. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look on our hockey for this. I really am gonna have to look on our hockey for all of this, because things are moving. That's, you know what, BU, it's true. Well, Leafs fans are delusional. We all know that. Habs fans are just pretentious, and they're French Canadians, so they're kind of weird. I could say that. I live in South Florida. There's a ton of them. And yeah, there's always a rumor about Montreal and Toronto, because they're both the most storied franchises in the league. Even though, really, if at some point being storied ends once you have a 50+ year cup drought for the Leafs, and well, the Habs are, at least they won within my lifetime, so whatever, and they still have the most out of anybody. But thanks to things like the salary cap and the Montreal Canadiens not taking advantage of their position, being in Montreal and taking all the French Canadian players at one point. The original six era of hockey, like that era of hockey, was really weird. The Detroit Red Wings owned like the Chicago Blackhawks at the same, like the owners owned both teams at the same time, and they fed all the good players to Detroit while the Blackhawks got the scraps. Like it is like the original six era of hockey. If you look at the history of it, there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of just straight up weirdness that I'm really glad that things have kind of mellowed out. Maybe like the Leafs and the Canadiens are kind of paying for all of that. Heck, the Red Wings paid for it for a long time because they hadn't won a championship for quite a while until like the mid 90s. So maybe what goes around comes around for a lot of these teams. So maybe this is just the 80, like the Red Sox 86-year drought for the Habs and the Leafs. They'll win one sometime later this century, and hopefully not be annoying like the Red Sox and the Pats and the Celtics and the Bruins are. But it'll go around again, and we'll have the Boston teams suck for a long time again. Anyways, I just went on a rant. Anyway, SunTrust Park, really good, really nice. The Braves have a lot of history, and they showed it off. That was what was really cool. They showed it off everywhere. You saw Hank Aaron stuff. You saw Phil Niekro stuff. I mean, you saw their John Smoltz and Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine and Chipper Jones and just all this history oozing from everything. And not just the Atlanta Braves, the Milwaukee Braves, and even the Boston Braves. They had Babe Ruth stuff around the ballpark. You could take a picture with their World Series trophy. They had... First, what struck me the most was when you entered the area around SunTrust Park. So, for those who don't know, the Braves used to play out in Turner Field, which was the Olympic Stadium in '96, and they converted it to a baseball field. The area where Turner Field it still is. It's being used by Georgia State now. Is not really the most nice neighborhood, you would say. I drove by it just to see what it was like over there, and it's not the most enticing place to be at. There's no restaurants or hotels or anything of the sort. Oh no, I'll tell you about Tropicana Field at some point as well. But so let's try and get maps up here, so I can show you kind of what I'm talking about. So let's see. It's called Georgia State Stadium now. So there it is now, and let's try to get a satellite view here. So yeah, there's really nothing here. There's a country in here, but the neighborhood around here, there's just nothing here, nothing whatsoever. Kind of like a sketchy neighborhood, not the type of place you want to be coming out of a baseball game at like 10:30 at night. All right,
you don't leave your car in the garage or in that parking
you can
area.
Exactly. You can see here where the Fulton County Stadium used to be as well. The Hank Aaron Wall, all that's still there, so there's still some Braves history there. But we'll go back now, and we'll look for SunTrust Park. Now, SunTrust Park is after going there, I don't know if Derek Jeter is listening to this, and I hope he is.
Come on, Jeets.
Jeter, if you listen to me and your disciple Charles here, go to SunTrust Park in Atlanta and look at how to make a baseball experience. Because here's SunTrust Park. Let me see if I can show my mouse on the screen here real quick so you guys can see where I'm pointing at. I don't know if you can, but whatever. Anyways, there's the field. There's a football field on there for some reason, but at the same time. So around this, you can see like there's a yard house here. I'm highlighting it. All of this is just straight up restaurants and stores and activities. There was a clown. There was a magician. There were people doing like all kinds of tricks on the streets. Not turning tricks on the street, but doing tricks on the streets. There's a Wahlburgers if you want to support Mark Wahlberg and his family's hamburger chain. If you want to do that. The ease of getting into the stadium, like I thought it would be really crappy with the traffic and everything. It was a breeze. We got there. Me and my dad got there about, I would say, 45 minutes before game time. Parking was easy. Parking garage, they let us in. We got out. We walked through, and immediately you are led into the. Would you want to? Why would you want to support Marky Mark? Yeah. I'm just. There's some people who like them. Some people who really like Transformers. Anyways, you're fed into immediately from the garage into what they call the battery, and that's all of the areas surrounding the ballpark, the restaurants and all that stuff. There's a hotel. There's some corporate buildings as well, and there's just stuff to do. The Braves mascot was out there, music and food and drinks and like, my God, and it's all around the ballpark.
Everything's happier better when you're actually winning.
And that also contributed to that as well. The Braves are doing pretty well right now. But anyways, good vibes all around, as you would say. As you said, actually, on the screen here. Nationals Park, I would say Nationals Park is probably like the... If you're talking in terms of Super Smash Brothers, it's the Super Mario of ballparks. Like, it's right in the middle, I would say. Nationals Park is... it's not great. It's not the best thing in the world. And it's not the worst thing in the world. But it's there. It satisfies what you need. It is the new Super Mario Brothers of baseball stadiums. Like, you'll play it. You'll get through it in about 3 hours. You'll be like, yeah, I had an okay time with this. That's fine. All right, give me.
So it's Domino's Pizza of ballparks?
Yeah, basically. Like, you're not gonna. It's not the worst thing in the world. You're not gonna have diarrhea afterwards. Like you. It's satisfying, but it's still not like it wasn't what I saw at SunTrust Park with all the history and just the amount of stuff to do. They had stuff for kids. Like, I went to Nationals Park. The area around Nationals Park is not built up yet. It's still in the middle. It's not in the middle of the city, but it's an area of the city that is being gentrified. Okay. And by this point, it's gotten to the point where, they got the condos and stuff around. It's gotten to that point where now it's considered one of the more expensive places to live in DC, around the ballpark. So the Nationals have done what they wanted to do in the area. And I guess for the city of DC as well, since they paid for the park. But the game experience, the Nationals played the White Sox that day. It was Pride Night, which added some flair of festivities there, I would say. But I just didn't feel the same amount of excitement and kind of good vibes and history and stuff that I saw at SunTrust Park. And SunTrust Park is new. Like, really, it's the newest park so far. And Nationals Park is maybe, I think, like 9 years old at this point. Yeah. So Nationals Park, a generic right down the middle stadium. Now we go on to Tropicana Field. So
play the hard music in the background.
Oh, okay. So Tropicana. Okay, but Tropicana Field outside looks depressing. It's a big gray building. Okay, it was made in the 80s, which is probably the worst period of sports architecture ever, where they made all types of horrible gray-looking prison type buildings. So Tropicana Field was made around that time. I think like 86 or 85 or something like that. So you go in. The concourse itself isn't bad at all. The concourse, you could tell they put money into that area of the ballpark where the food and entertainment is at. Good on them. Good on the Rays for trying to put makeup on a pig. Interesting. They had like a museum there. They had a museum that honored. It's the Ted Williams Baseball Museum. Since Ted Williams is from Tampa. or was from Tampa. Well, his head is still frozen somewhere in Tampa, I think. And broke down in '86. There you go. And they had memorabilia from the Red Sox, obviously, the Yankees, every single team except the Marlins for some reason. I saw absolutely no Marlins thing. I saw for the Braves and the Tigers and the White Sox and the Cubs. Nothing for the Marlins, and I don't know why. And I know we trade away all our players, but we're literally across the state. Don't know, or at least, build up the rivalry or what have you. But the museum was a nice touch to see at Tropicana Field. It's something I didn't really even see at Nationals Park, to be honest. But the stadium inside, they made the concourse where you can walk the entire stadium without losing view of the field, which is also really nice. I like that. So you can get up, go get your whatever, get up and find your whatever, and then and you'll never lose sight of the game. However, the interior of the park is depressing. It's gray. You can tell, like, they made the back of the outfield look like it's like a fence, and with the scoreboard and all that stuff to kind of make it look like it's an outdoor ballpark. But you can clearly tell, like, this is somebody's, they might also just put Legos out there. I don't know. It's just really bad. It's really depressing. Everything's gray. The roof is gray. The concrete walls are gray. I'm surprised they haven't painted it to at least spruce it up a little bit. Put some art back there or something. They're gentrifying the area. I can tell you that. So they're trying to improve the area around the ballpark, but you're still surrounding Tropicana Field, which is not nice. So the Rays have to move out. They just have to. Tropicana Field isn't a bad experience, but it's not. You don't really get, like, gosh, it feels like it's overcast all the time, which is depressing.
I can explain this to you, how to explain Tropicana Field.
Yeah, you've been there too.
Yeah, so let me explain this to you. For anybody else who's never been to the great state of Florida during the hurricane season like we have right now, right? To explain Tropicana Field to people, if you've seen the movies, right? The movies where the dad's trying to bond with the son, it's like, hey,
the
Junior,
Goofy movie.
Come here. Yeah, it was a Goofy movie, right? But listen, Goofy wasn't a sports guy, okay? So I'm going to take it out of it. But if we'll take the movie Field of Dreams, right?
Okay.
And how there's that relationship between father and son, how important it was for, learning baseball and all that stuff. If you brought your child to Tropicana as his first ever experience, he would just toss his glove away and never play the sport again. That is the feeling and sensation of when I went to Tropicana Field. And I'm a Yankees fan, and so my happy behind is not going to Yankee Stadium because I'm broke, but I'll go to Tropicana every couple of years. I wanted to go this year, but I don't think I can. They don't have weekend games. Side note, I'm going to hit something on point. Why can't you have division rivalry games on a weekend?
Because they know that
important thing on a day of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday when I work and I have to go to court and cover people's stuff. It's not fair.
I would say it's because they know that the Yankees and the Red Sox will draw. So
draw on the weekends.
Weekdays because hey, nobody's gonna come see us face the frickin' White Sox. I'm not picking on the White Sox. They're just awful right now. So who's gonna go and watch them? And I don't think enough people from Chicago like the White Sox enough to go to Tropicana Field to watch them. Maybe the Cubs. Most likely the Cubs, but Goofy's not a sports guy, and yet, oh yeah, Goofy skateboarding, right? Is that right?
Yeah, you should see the link. It was pretty funny. The moment I saw it, I knew exactly what it was. I started cracking up.
Okay, I have to click on that link somehow if I can. Let me see if I can. Maybe I can copy and paste it. 1 second.
But to Mew's point, I will propel to the theory of multiverse Goofy. That's a father in a Goofy movie, an extreme Goofy movie. It's not the same as the beloved ones that we had growing up. Instead,
that's true. He does skate in the second movie. That is true. I'm sorry. We're going into the Goofy cinematic universe here. Okay. Anyways, that was the trip across. We were almost gonna go to Philly, but unfortunately, the Phillies weren't there.
Remember, you can never take enough showers after a Philly game, so to be clean.
You
So
know,
we
no,
figured.
honestly, gosh. Okay, I've been to Philly.
I like how you preface that.
I've been to Philly, and not my favorite city. All right,
Oh yeah.
all right. It's um, I could see why. Look, I love watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but I could see why. I could see where that type of humor comes from. I'm like, yeah, if I lived here, that's probably how I would act and feel, and hey, I could make a comedy out of this type of stuff. Yeah, Philly's kind of not the most scenic city in the world. I'll tell you that much. Some interesting things like that weird, that one museum with like all the morbid stuff. That's there.
You mean downtown?
Yeah, next to the Liberty Bell. And I guess it's next to the University of Penn. It's around there, but it's like a morbid museum where they have like body parts and weird medical stuff. It's kind of, I forgot what it's called. Man, it's famous too. We'll lose all our Philadelphia fans. If we have any, I'm not sure. I'm not making
I
fun
know.
of Philly fans.
I think we've insulted enough throughout the season with just my hate for the
We've
76ers.
insulted, but listen, I'm a Marlins fan, so really, there's not much more you can do to hurt me. So,
Yeah.
oh gosh,
And they tried us in the World Series, and we set them down in place, so it's okay.
and that World Series was really bad for me because
Mm.
I didn't know who I wanted to lose more.
I mean, the answer was simple. You want to have the new dynasty because you can't. You have to, a side point since we're improving all day today. Can you ever root for a in division rival to win
Well,
if you hate
it
the other
was
team going against them?
like, okay, the 2008 Phillies. I wasn't like, I wanted the Rays to win, but I wasn't too upset. I'm like, okay, the Phillies haven't won in forever, and it was nice and all that type of stuff. But then the Philly fans just became way too obnoxious to the point where it's like, man, I really hope they lose. And then they got Roy Halladay and all these other people, and I'm like Cliff Lee, and like they were repeating again. You got Pedro Martinez again. Well, it was him at the downturn of his career, but and then you guys faced the Yankees, and I'm like, the Phillies
We
faced the
bought
Yankees,
everybody that year.
and I'm like, and that was the Yankees. That was the swan song of the dynasty, I would say, with the core guys. But it was like, okay, and I hated A-Rod really like a ton at that point, so I didn't want to see him win a championship. And lo and behold, the Yankees win, and it's like, okay, well, I guess the Meteor didn't win out in this one. Oh well. But whatever, you guys haven't won it forever either.
Yeah,
Now,
about
you guys
10
have
years.
a decade-long drought. Welcome to the party.
Yeah. I mean, to supplement my idea with some stuff, every time it was the Red Sox going, I never really root for them. I always acknowledge that it's them, but last year, knowing that they were in the finals, I was, King Petty, and I'm like, all right, we're just not even gonna watch it.
Oh no! Oh no! At that point, I wanted the Dodgers to win.
Yeah, it's weird too because you kind of the same way I felt for Kansas City is
Yeah,
the same way I feel for the Dodgers. Like, look, there's only so many times you can go to the World Series back to back to back,
and
and I'm gonna
lose.
feel bad for you because I'm gonna kind of root for you. They look like the best team this year. All respect to Houston.
I mean, the Dodgers. Well, let's say since I guess Magic Johnson and those guys bought the team, have been on this run where they've been spending like crazy just to win a championship, and they haven't. And this is right; they're the best team again this season, and we still don't know if they're gonna win it all. Because
They even traded dudes away, and they look even
yeah,
more dominant.
yeah, they got Yasiel. They traded away Yasiel Puig.
Yeah,
And
because good pitching is where it's at, man.
yeah, no, it's true. I mean, look at the Reds. The Reds have some of the good, like Luis Castillo. Marlins gave him up. He was on the Yankees, right?
Briefly, I believe.
Yeah, briefly, but we got him from you guys,
Yep.
and that was a mistake trading him away for was it Fernando Rodney? I forgot who it was.
Mhm.
We traded him for.
Like
It was
any
something
player.
awful like that. Is he even still in the league? He's somewhere, right? Where is he?
Well, I mean, what an excellent player we remember to forget segment.
No, he's
Fernando
probably
Rodney
still playing. Let me look. He's probably still playing somewhere.
with the Washington Nationals.
Oh, well, okay. A mediocre team right now. It fits him perfectly. He'll probably have that's when he does his best. That's actually when he does his best. He'll have an all-star type of season when he's on a bad team.
I think he's also down in their AAA option though.
Oh,
the AAA
okay.
club. So I mean, that's really dying a slow death. Because when you look, all intents and purposes, sometimes you gotta send guys down to work on the mechanics. We sent down Clint Frazier over the weekend because we have too many guys on the roster. But I just wanted to trade him because it's time to get we need a pitcher, not a prospect. We need a starting pitcher because CC's leaving. Let's get a guy in 2 years.
He's 42 years old. Wow.
He is.
Dear
so this
Lord.
is why you're dying a bad death. It's okay to send a young guy to figure out the mechanics. When you're sending down a 42-year-old, there's plenty of guys that you just call up from.
Might as well be Kenny Powers. Sheesh.
He pretty much is Kenny Powers, right? I mean, look at his face. He's all serious.
That's true. He's a Dominican Kenny Powers.
Yeah, the real Kenny Powers. That's dying a bad death, man, because not every old pitcher is the Bartolo Colon, where they can just say, hey, I gained like 50 pounds, but also got like 5 miles on my heater, so let's do this.
No, not everybody can be Bartolo, man.
Yeah, because steroids help Bartolo. That man was juicing, and he still gets chances. But hey, more power to him, right?
I think at a certain point, like he got so big that it's like, you know what, Bartolo, you keep doing those steroids. We'll let it slide. If they can make you relatively athletic, then so be it.
Listen, I'm about the fat guy movement between Bartolo, between Andy Ruiz, just bringing back some pride. Listen, Thor helped it best. Screw these guys with their 8-packs. Let's show them what a real jelly roll looks like.
Oh my god. Oh boy. So I'm hoping I can get this capture card set up next week. And I have to pick up. Okay, so I got my Wii U here, and so the funny thing is, the PlayStation and the N64 emulator on it, they only work with the original Wii remotes, not the Wii remotes that have the Wii Motion Plus in them. So I brought my 2 controllers that have Wii Motion Plus, so they don't work. So I have to go back up to my parents' place when I pass through when I'm going up to Orlando, or pass back down when I'm coming back, so I can pick those up and we could play some actual No Mercy and stuff like that on there. Yeah.
That's right. We're going to be the new improved Sports Goofs with funding.
Yeah, that's true. Patreon.com/sportsgoof. If you're listening out there, Kevin Durant, while you're healing up on your Achilles tendon, I'm just saying. It doesn't matter where you go, dude. You can stay with the Warriors. You can come to the Heat if you want. I hear their medical staff is really darn good. If you want to do that 1 year, recuperating, we don't even need to have him play. He could just be here recuperating.
He's just gonna sip Mai Tais with Lane Kiffin and Boca. It's all right, dude.
Football in paradise, baby. Right? Football in paradise. That's the slogan for the Owls this year.
Yeah, we got you. We'll get you some hot little blondies. It's all good. Just donate to our show first because I got FAU alumni here. We got you, Lane. We got him a hook.
Oh yeah, dude. Go Owls with my fingers making the owl eyes or something. Yeah. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, Charles, should you put ketchup on a steak?
No.
Thank you.
You shouldn't even put steak sauce. Listen, if you have to put A1 sauce on your steak, you return your steak.
Okay.
Because when you order it rare, that's all you need.
Oh, well, how do you order your steaks?
Rare.
Rare? Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're a salmonella guy, huh?
I'm not. Listen, you like sushi? Because
look, I like sushi. All right, I don't mind sushi. I can't eat a ton of it because there's a lot of shellfish, but what I can, I will eat.
Listen, as I tell people, getting it rare, it's not blood, it's just the aminos. I was once a boy too, Francisco. I used to get my steaks well done and medium well. But then, I grew a couple of hairs on my chest and other places in my body that people don't want to know, and rare was just the way to go. I
Okay.
get fast with it, and I enjoy it.
So Mikey here put steak sauce on his leftover steak.
I can respect that because day old steak does not have the same taste, especially if you nuke it real quickly. So I will give them all to that, whether it's ketchup or anything else afterwards. But when it's out, you know what to do.
So I did a steak faux pas yesterday when I took some of the Heinz Mesquite barbecue grill, or no, Memphis barbecue grilled, no, barbecue sauce. Yeah, Memphis brown sugar barbecue sauce that I put on my steak yesterday for Father's Day. Even though I'm not a dad, but my dad was cooking steak. So, look, ketchup is ketchup on a good steak is a yes, it's bad. All right, it is an atrocity. But look, my dad cooked it on a grill, therefore it is barbecue. Thus, I think it opened up that steak into the barbecue category. Thus, I could use barbecue sauce on it. That's my logic for doing so. Any other, if I'm at a steakhouse, there's no barbecue sauce around. I know that, but I don't need barbecue sauce because at a steakhouse, especially if you ever been to Three Forks, out there in Palm Beach Gardens, they're really good. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, that's some good stuff right there. You don't need no sauce for that type of stuff.
I mean, first off, Francisco, how do you take your steak? I'm enjoying
Mine is medium well.
You'll grow some hair. I mean, BU said something that's very important. I'll shout. If you like the flavor of the sauce, that's a different story. Ketchup does not have, to me, a flavor. How do I want to say this? Amplifier for something like a steak, even if it's medium well.
That's yes, I could say so. Because like the barbecue sauce was great for me. All right. All right, and it's barbecue sauce, so it's meant. It was cooked on a grill. It's meant to enhance the grilliness. I don't even know if that's a word, but whatever. I'm using it of the meat that you're eating. So I would say that. Quick callback to Japanese wrestling. So let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can open this up before. See if I can highlight this and open it up on the other screen here. Holy crap! Oh, people. Let's see if I can copy this. I don't know if it can. It's on the OBS browser, so I don't even know if it's gonna work. But we'll give it a shot. Get Fernando Rodney off the screen, that's for sure. Oh, there it is. What is this? Holy crap! This is Japanese wrestling?
To a degree. I mean, listen, you have to enjoy it, Francisco. Okay. I mean,
and it's all in Japanese, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have some American announcers, but it just
Okay.
comes in.
But
And I just send this big ass link, so forgive me, everybody, if I hurt your eyes on my Google link search.
hold on, let's see if I can grab it before it disappears on me. Copy. Real quick. Now I figured out how to freaking copy and paste links onto this. So we are improving here, folks. It is happening. Little by little, this show is becoming what I had dreamed of. We're gonna create our media empire here.
All babies have to crawl before they walk, man.
Oh yeah. Here we go. All right. Previous page is sending you to. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. So let's click there. So we got here Reddit R squared circle. That's what Kenny Omega does to little girls who think they can wrestle.
And what's funny? Kenny Omega is regarded as one of the top wrestlers in the world now.
Yeah. Sorry from the bottom that he's there.
Oh yeah, but that's Japanese. Listen, creativity. Going back into the wrestling segment, creativity is sometimes best in wrestling, and sometimes you get the best characters in wrestling when they can be creative and not have an 80-year-old man who's juiced out on steroids tell you what's funny. It's not funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you got to think outside the bun sometimes.
Yeah,
Speaking of,
like
nacho
putting
fries
ketchup
are
on your
back.
steak. Is that time we go into a little non-sponsor stuff?
Oh yeah, we haven't even done that. Sheesh.
Yeah.
All right, gosh, Yeah, you are right, Charles. Yeah, word from our non-sponsors. Um, People, places, and things, and concepts, and animals, and inanimate objects, what have you. We enjoy them over the past week. Actually, not the past week because we had a quick turnaround with this episode. We covered the end of the hockey season last time. We covered the end of the basketball season this time. So, Charles, you haven't gone in a while. So, what you got?
All right, I'm gonna make it a twofer. I'm gonna make it a
Yeah,
twofer.
go ahead.
It's kind of like an
The
explanation of
strongest generals in
yesterday
the world.
and then
Okay.
explanation of today. So as you guys know, I love food.
Oh yeah.
It's my favorite thing in the world. You love it in every shape and size. And for Father's Day, I took my father out to a nice, good old tasty of Flanagan's. So
Oh,
I'm gonna give,
a staple down here.
yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Flanagan's because they have what I think is always the best investment in a meal, a half rack rib
I
and
think
chicken
this is Flanagan's
combo.
second time on being non-sponsors. Actually, they might actually be the first double non-sponsor here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we do it is because they give you the best duo combo out there. For about 18 bucks, you get half a rack of ribs that are perfectly cooked with the right kind of sauce, and your choice of either shrimp, chicken fingers, or just chicken tenders, but battered in whatever you want and whatever sauce I ask, or just chicken wings. I myself went for the chicken tenders because I am not a heathen. I like all my chicken to eat, not just have the bones. So the greatest thing about it is that you get for roughly 17.79, you have dinner and lunch because I ate my ribs, had one sticker, and today for lunch I had my remaining chicken stickers and fries. But then I also go to my other non-sponsor, and guys, I'm a sucker for desserts. I like the sweets. I usually like candy, but if you give me a kind of tasty treat, I'm just destroying my mouth. And one of these things, these delicious little yellow monsters that look like school buses filled with sweet, sweet cream. No pun intended. Usually works well for me. And those are Twinkies.
Oh boy, Twinkies. You know what? I actually bought a box of Twinkies last week, the red, white, and blue ones.
Oh yeah, because it's America, and we celebrate all things American. And ladies and gentlemen, there was nothing more American than what I ate today for lunch, which was my leftover chicken stickers, fries, and a Twinkie. And guys, I ate it after because I was so full that I wanted to take a nap in my office. I had to prepare for court tomorrow, but I
Yeah.
loved it during. So my non-sponsor of the week, the duel, is Flanagan's, home of their famous baby back ribs and their great pricey combos. Go get their lunch specials, and Twinkies, which is basically America's, gift to mankind.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
So my promo code for them is just delicious. That's all I got
Delicious.
for you.
All right, dude. Okay. Oh dear Lord, there are the Twinkies. The frickin' wow, hostess. Hostess, you are. I don't know how you guys were bankrupt at one point, but gosh darn it, look at all this great stuff, and of course the Twinkie at the top because the Twinkie is the king of pastry snacks, I would say.
Yeah.
So okay, so my non-sponsor, I guess we'll go here, and well, once again, like E3 happened, and I have to say my non-sponsor is a man who deserves who does not we do not deserve him whatsoever, and that is Masahiro Sakurai.
Yes.
He is we should never ask him for anything ever again. He literally kills himself every time he makes a Smash game. And this time around, he introduced two new characters. If you're a weeb, you enjoyed the Dragon Ball Z knockoff characters that he introduced at the beginning of the Nintendo Direct. The hero from Dragon Quest. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the surprise character that he introduced at the end of the Nintendo Direct, before, of course, they announced the sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I am also looking forward to, because it looks like Ganondorf is returning. And that is the reintroduction of Banjo-Kazooie into the world of Nintendo. It's significant. It is absolutely huge. This is different from frickin' having Sonic the Hedgehog in Smash Brothers, because Sonic is part of Sega, who is a dead competitor to Nintendo in the console scene. This is different than that. This is an actual competitor right now of Nintendo, who is Devil Dogs over Twinkies. Yeah. Oh, whoa, that's a debate there. Oh boy. You know what? My favorite are zebra cakes. I'm a zebra cake man. I am a zebra cake man. Okay. If you had to put them all in the line up right there, I'm a zebra cake dude. Okay. Anyways, there's the trailer right there for you saw the Jiggy go by. And this is a competing company's character, which they're... Okay, let's be real. They're not using him. They're not using any of Rare's property, to be honest. So why not?
I mean, Cosmic Brownies.
Huh?
Well, let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
But continue.
Anyways. And they brought him back. They brought Banjo-Kazooie back. He has a modern design to his N64 look. Not his really blocky, weird looking. He kind of let himself go look from back in, was it 2008 or something? That's when Nuts and Bolts came out on the Xbox. Which was just basically a car making game. I have no idea what the heck it was. It was weird. But yeah, are we going to get a remaster? Oh man. I'm not even sure. It would really depend if Microsoft announced Xbox Game Pass or something on the Switch. Because I think they re-released Kazooie and Tooie already on the Xbox 360 and One, I think. So, I mean, a remaster would be cool. We're kind of in the age of 32/64-bit remasters at this point. We already got Crash and Spyro. We're getting Panzer Dragoon from that's a Sega Saturn game, which I think they lost the code for at some point. So the fact that they're remaking it is huge. I'm hoping they remake Sonic R because, Sonic R. Look, I enjoy Sonic. Sonic R is like, it's like watching Dumb and Dumber. All right, it's the Dumb and Dumber of Sonic racing games. All right, you know what you're getting. All right, but you're gonna enjoy it. All right, but anyways, Masahiro Sakurai, you I don't know who you're gonna put next in Smash. There's still 2 more DLC characters left. I don't even know who would be at this point. Like, I would love for it to be Travis Touchdown, but you know what? The trailer would be really cool if he was like, I'm not just some other anime sword fighter. That would be a really nice, nod to having another sword fighter. I'm hoping, honestly, I hope they have like a first-person shooter representative.
So Doom.
Yeah, like the Doom guy, or if Microsoft is really buddy-buddy with Nintendo, they put in Master Chief.
Oh,
that would be huge.
Sorry.
That would be massive.
Listen, I'm not ready for that.
You're not ready for that?
Yeah, I don't know how I can comprehend.
If that would to like that, they would have to like, okay, we're putting Xbox Game Pass on Nintendo Switch. Okay, and then like right at the end, they put that trailer. It looks like Halo Infinite, and nope, he's in Smash.
Yeah, look, it would make me get the Xbox Game Pass for at least the special they have where it's like $1 or whatever.
Honestly, yeah, I've seen some looks. I think Doug, who is an original member of the show, he's got Xbox Game Pass. It sounds like it's a really good deal. For
I think it's like, what,
if you
$20 a month?
Yeah, something like, I think there's like a $10 deal right now for the summer. Like it's not bad, especially if you play a lot. That's my issue though. I don't know if I'm gonna play a lot. I'm not even sure. I only play. Yeah, like what are you playing right now? What are you like really playing right now?
NBA 2K19 that I picked up $3 at the PSN Network.
Right.
Because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
And I need something that I can focus on, but also just not be lost in translation as I'm playing with you guys. We're talking with you guys.
I've been playing Smash because I'm trying to get better at playing as Captain Falcon and Mario, and I'm being absolutely bodied right now by everybody because I suck as them. I really do. And I'm playing Cadence of Hyrule, which is that and Shovel Knight, so I have to beat those at some point. So I should stop buying new games. But Super Mario Maker's coming out at the end of the month, and I know I'm gonna buy that, even though I don't know. I probably won't make more than like 5 levels. To be honest.
We're just there for other people to make stuff for me.
Right, right. Well, it's like the stages in Smash Brothers. I made one stage and that was it. I'm like, yep, I'm done. Alrighty. All right, so that's our non-sponsors for this week. Okay. Well, Charles, we're at an hour 44 mark. I don't know what else you want to talk about, dude.
Um, I mean, I think we kind of hit everything, unless you want to end, I guess, the wrap up of our NBA season right now on our impressions and thoughts on the Pelicans trade, and just leave it at that.
CD
Then
Project Red. Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot about that. Promo code
Yeah.
Keanu.
That's true. Keanu Reeves, the game. Hopefully, John Wick confirms for Smash. You kill the duck hunt dog, and he goes on a rampage.
So he becomes a fatality.
Yeah. Yeah, the CD Project Red. I mean, there's some Microsoft stuff that looks really enticing. The fact that they announced their stuff for PC, that really makes me excited. I don't have to buy an Xbox. I can just buy. I've been wanting to get a high-end PC, gaming PC for a while, so it kind of gives me incentive to finally start saving up for that if Microsoft's going to put their stuff on there. So it means I could enjoy best of both worlds. Yeah, The Last of Us 2. That is man, there's a lot of games coming out, man. But it's the same thing every year. There's still a ton of my backlog that I haven't even played, to be honest. I never finished Yoshi's Woolly World on the Wii U at all. And I want to get Yoshi's Crafted World, but I can't even justify buying it until I beat the other one.
Yeah, those are like 6-hour games too.
I know, and that's the worst part. I could totally beat it, but I keep playing Smash Brothers.
Yeah, your heart wants what your heart wants.
Yeah. Alas. All right, so yeah, basketball season is over. We got baseball, and I guess next week we'll hopefully have our first in a series of playing retro video games again, bringing that concept of the show back from the dead.
The best kind.
Yeah.
Because, let me tell you guys something. At this time of the year, everybody wants to get away from the hot damn sun or that hardcore rain and just pick up a controller and play it out.
Okay. All right, Charles. So thank you for joining me for the show. We popped out an hour and 45 plus of this.
I'm proud of us. Thank you for everybody for contributing in the chat, for listening to us, for dealing with my nonsense, dealing with Francisco's nonsense.
Oh yeah, and it is nonsense.
Oh yeah, but it's the best kind of nonsense. It's goofing around.
Lakers will get Kyrie and Kawhi. Dear Lord. No, wait. Can the Lakers get both of those guys?
I think they can get. Kyrie gets the lower than max, but Kawhi gets the max.
He would have to make a. Yeah, he would have to. It'd probably be like a wink-wink scenario, kind of like how the Heat got the big three to kind of all each take a little, just to even things out, so they could support the three guys and still surround them with some good players. I can't see them getting all four guys. That'd be.
Does LeBron really want to play with Kyrie anymore?
I think so. Kyrie did his little 180 there, where he kind of apologized. He apologized to LeBron because he was on the Celtics and he realized, playing with these young guys, and it's not that easy being, quote unquote, the best guy on the team, and kind of leading these players. I could see Kyrie going back to the Lakers. Lonzo's gone, so it opens up. Huh?
LeBron's your point guard anyway, for all intents and purposes.
Right. Well, Kyrie already knows how to play with LeBron. That's a plus there. If he's willing to take less than the max, allowing the Lakers the flexibility to get all those guys in, sign Anthony Davis the following season, because that's when he's a free agent, unless they work out an extension during the season, and still leave enough room to surround them with some good veterans, which maybe LeBron's hoping they do that and kind of recreate the Miami Heat, where they got guys like Shane Battier and Ray Allen to come in, who just wanted to win, and I mean, like good players who hadn't won rings, and well, Ray hadn't already won one, but who, you know, are looking to jump onto the championship wagon, if you will. Kyrie, of course he didn't want to play with LeBron, which was the whole reason that facilitated the trade, and was after 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and where he went to Boston for Isaiah Thomas, right?
Yep, and that was no one won that trade. If both teams are leaving, or both guys are leaving, no one won that trade.
That's true. The Cavs didn't win another championship. They made it to the finals again, but that was because LeBron played out of his mind that playoff season. And of course, J.R. Smith ruined everything in Game 1. And then Kyrie had kind of like regrets this season. Of course, he thinks the Earth is flat still, so I don't even know what to say about him.
Well, listen, you want to be the face of that franchise but be heckled? It's better just to have LeBron take the tomato shots for you.
Yeah. Kyrie, he can come here and he can come to LA and be what he was in Cleveland, but I guess he already made a movie. He already has an Uncle Drew movie.
Yeah,
so
too. Unless he really just wants to be an aspiring actor, and he's going to come to LA and ask for LeBron for his help.
Or he'll be LeBron's sidekick in Space Jam 2, along with Bugs Bunny.
He's the Daffy Duck.
Yeah, he'll get it.
Myself before I found somebody.
Yeah. But
does
the Lakers.
Dan Gilbert, Elmer Fudd, because he's so petty to LeBron.
Vegas already has the Lakers being the favorite to win the finals next season. Don't see it right now.
But let's be honest about something, though.
But
if you're going to give him the odds, but if you're going to give him the odds, you're also, and this is something that Vegas normally doesn't do, but you're also going to do it because Frank Vogel's your head coach. Say what you will about his time with the Orlando Magic, but he put the Heat through serious hell with the Pacers, and this is a well-constructed team, to at least for his kind of coaching. It's not young guys or anything like that.
Right. The Magic job, he's probably not a guy that can develop young players. He's probably not that type of coach. He's the type of coach that, I guess, there was a young Paul George. You had Roy Hibbert.
He had a kind of healthy Danny Granger.
Yeah.
So he can develop, but he's better off just kind of disciplining people.
Yeah.
So, for all intents and purposes, Luke Walton, we'll never know the story of Magic was just an incompetent GM and Luke Walton was bad, or vice versa. We'll see what he is with Sacramento. But at least if you're going to put those odds, it's also because you do know you have competent coaching.
Right.
But you also just have no picks and all that other stuff.
Yeah. I would say Frank Vogel is an upgrade over Luke Walton at this point. Just going by his career at this point so far. Like, he's led the Pacers to the brink of an NBA Finals. So that's not That's closer than what. Well, I mean, Luke Walton picked up a Warriors team that was already set to go. I mean, I don't know how much of a contribution he made when Steve Kerr was out, but Okay, so I guess that's it. All right, Charles.
That works for me. All right, thank you, Francisco. Thank you, everybody.
All right, people, take care and enjoy this girl continually getting destroyed here. It's been on there for the entire time, but whatever. Bye, everybody.